Hi again, this is Sarah Marie Paul and I'm back with another holistic home tip. Today I'm going to teach you about all the benefits when it comes to an onion compress. Yes, an onion compress. This is going to go over your ear. Don't turn me off, just listen, and I think that you're going to be just as amazed as I was the first time I used this with my little son. So this onion compress is extremely simple and basic. You only need about 3 or 4 different items. One is an organic onion. The second is going to be a cloth napkin or a piece of maybe like an old cotton t-shirt. You can use that. Third is going to be a knit hat. And then fourth is going to be a hot water bottle. I really recommend that you have an old school hot water bottle in your home, and there are many reasons why. One of them is going to be that when anyone is feeling under the weather, what you really want to do is try to bring warmth to the body. So we use these, we'll place them underneath someone's knees when they're laying on the sofa or they're laying in bed, or let someone snuggle up next to one of these in order to fall asleep more easily. During that time, you also want to make sure that you are wearing socks on your feet, which I know that I am guilty of walking around barefoot all the time, but if I'm unwell, I make sure to try to keep as much warmth, especially to the core of my body as possible, but also to my extremities. So all you have to do is take half an onion, you're going to chop it up, and then you're going to place it into the cotton napkin that you have. So I'm going to put this guy to the side because I don't need the whole thing, and just kind of push it onto the napkin. After that, you are just going to take the sides, you're going to fold it up and to make it into about a little bit of a square. I have some tape here. This is completely optional, but this is nice to have to tape the compress shut, especially if you have a little wiggly toddler or child at home. So why might you want to use an onion compress over the ear? Well, this is an incredible home remedy to alleviate ear aches, ear pain, and even ear infections. The first time that I personally used this with my son, he was about 3 years old. He was prone to having ear infections pretty frequently at the time, and we would always resort to going to the doctor and getting an antibiotic treatment. Well, when I started living life a little bit more naturally, I learned about how sometimes the overusage of antibiotics can really be detrimental to gut health. So I was willing to try something different. I went to my doctor. She recommended an onion compress for his ear, and I thought she was crazy. But I went home, I cut the onion up, I put it into a napkin just like this, and after that I put it onto the hot water bottle for a couple minutes while I got him ready for bed. At that time, the hot water bottle helped to warm up the onion just slightly. If you don't have a hot water bottle and you'd still like to do this, you can saute half of this onion very briefly in a pan just to get it warm, but you want to make sure it's not too hot. Combine it with the other half of the raw onion into the compress, and then you're going to be able to place it right over top of the ear. This actually helps to draw out the earache and draw out the ear infection, which sounds crazy until you try it. The first time I tried it, my son woke up the next day. He said he had no pain at all. I couldn't believe it. I took him back to the doctor. She said that everything had already cleared up. I still really didn't believe it. So I took him back to the doctor every week for the next 2 weeks, and she reassured me every time she checked his ear, it was completely fine. So now this is something in my personal mommy toolbox that I will pull out all the time. So you can take this, after you have it ready and a little bit warmed up, you're going to place it over top of the ear, and that's when you're going to pull the knit hat on top. It can hold itself into place, just like that. And then the idea is that you would have whoever is feeling under the weather lay down on the sofa or even go to bed. We would do this all the time right before bedtime. And having the warmth covering the head is wonderful. having the compress over the ear, that's what's going to be the healing element. And don't worry if through the night, if your fussy toddler or if your child throws off the hat and throws off the compress, it doesn't have to be on that long for it to still be effective. So what do you think? Is this going to be in your toolbox too?